All right, great. Thanks everyone for joining another episode of the OpenJS Foundation's Cross Project Council meeting. Today's the 9th of December. All right, right. Oh, hang on. Thanks everyone for joining. There we go. Forgot about that. Where was I? So yeah, what do we start with? We have announcements.
Uh, just one, probably not super fun, but I just want to remind everybody that we did publish a blog a couple of weeks ago on publishing more securely on NPM. Seems to be an issue for many in the last couple of months. It doesn't seem to go away. So take a look at that. The team, Security Collab Space, and the Node project worked really hard. There's some sample code instructions and repos. So yeah, publishing more securely in NPM, you'll find it in the OpenJSF blog.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
There's the note stock. All right, anything else on that side of things? Announcements? Board meeting updates is next. When's our next board meeting?
The 19th,
Okay,
next, yeah, coming up.
of December. Great. Um, do we, if anybody's got anything they want to bring to the board or whatever, let us know. We got 10 days. Otherwise we will report back then. What's next? Anything from the staff updates? I don't even want to talk about the loopback thing. I guess I don't need to talk about that because I don't work there anymore. So,
So
um,
there is one pending item, which is around adjusting the charter uh, to clarify voting. That's correct. It is bark worthy. So we do have an active PR that's linked to from that issue. It's it's currently blocked, I would say, because there's some discussion happening around collab spaces. And so I just added a comment today that was asking, hey, we can try and solve this as part of this, or we can push forward and handle the collapse space issues separately. Um, we don't have an election for a while, so it's not like we're racing to get the charter updated. And because the charter does require, a board vote, it's best to batch it if we can. But if on the flip side of that, if the collapse space discussion is going to be like, you know, really, really intense, we might want to split that off. So I'm happy to support you either way. But yeah, right now this is kind of just on hold.
you said you made a comment today. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, it was. I'll link to it in chat. Copy link.
Maybe I pasted the wrong issues here.
I think you're right. There's a lot of discussion in this one, so Chris,
Oh,
yeah,
I see it. I see it. It's buried in a thread. Got it. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. One, I'm surprised we don't have the like a CPC meeting agenda label on this one because I think this is a good one to talk about some concerns. Some have been mentioned, well, maybe all that we know of anyway, have been mentioned in the issue itself. Um, uh, so the thing that's unresolved, um, from my end, and I think is actually a larger blocker than the collab space questions, which I think we should sort out. I think there's plenty of time to sort it out. So, as Ben pointed out, we're not going to be having an election for quite some time. Now, obviously, the time can pass really quickly, and then we sit on this, and then so I'm not saying let's um, spin wheels here, but uh, the the voting members that are meant to represent a constituency, whether it be at large and incubating projects like it was before, and now we're sort of deduplicating into just community, which is fine. I have no problem with that. But like the people that vote for them need to be the members of the CPC and not the voting members of the CPC, because that doesn't make a lot of sense. Now I get that, what Toby was saying, like, okay, we remove this information on how voting works for at-large and incubating projects because we weren't following it. Okay, that's fine. But like, again, like the next time we do the votes, um, the ballots should go out to all of the CPC regular members and not just the voting members, because otherwise they're not represented. That doesn't make any sense. Um, and then, yeah, so I think we just need to sort that out and also answer the question about collab spaces.
Should we use a working session next week on this? Hash it out and have a good solid proposal and try to move it
let's
forward?
let's add it to the working group queue because I think there's a couple that we probably want to talk about and decide. But I added this did have a cross project council label on it at some point, I think. But I will actually I need to do this in the other issue. Sorry. I'll clean this up and put the right labels on it.
Great, thank you. All right, so it's a potential working thing. And if we, with this small group, hustle through the agenda, we could maybe talk about it more here as well. Okay. Oh, so that was still on the staff updates. Ben, I think I tried to link you with Diana Lau, who's on the loopback team at IBM. That's one of the other kind of standing staff update sort of issues. There's like IP policy. I don't remember. There was, I think, a license. Hang on, I have it open. Why am I doing this?
I have
IP
I have the history on the license stuff, so I can get on a call with Diane and our team to talk next steps.
There was that, and then I think there's also some sort of contribution agreement that we couldn't find for that project.
Right.
So those two things. So
Lost in the snail mail.
this is me handing that off and never thinking about it again.
Yeah, we need to regroup on that given your new status, I think.
Mhm.
Well, and hopefully Diana's more effective than I have been. So great. So that's that. Anything else from like the staff update stuff? I don't see anything else. So moving on then, the first item in the agenda here is approving pending charters. We have 3 of them, I think, that
I think
are.
there might actually be one that I missed too, which I think is telling. But yeah, I basically created this issue to try and get all of the charters that we need to approve in one spot and nominate this as a working session topic to try and go through them as much as we can. I fully acknowledge that the charter approval process we need to work on in 2026. Definitely 100%. But I don't want that to be the topic of this issue. This issue is, hey, we've got a whole bunch that are pending.
Yeah.
What do we need to do to get these sorted? And this might actually include inviting the folks from, inviting stakeholders from those projects to collaborate with us in a working session just to, get these sorted once and for all. But I just wanted to sort of bubble this up that there's a bunch pending. We're getting towards the end of the year, so this might be a nice one to try and hustle on if we can.
Yeah. Just want to ask, is there an issue for the charter update work as well?
I don't think so. I think because it's kind of nebulous how we're gonna improve. There is I think at least one issue around making the charters easier to adopt and update, but that's not around, well, how does a charter flow through the CPC to actually get approved?
The template is feels like there's a PR because Toby walked through it with me and a couple of folks from OpenBiz the other week. There's just a couple of sections that he's making changes on. So I can't remember if it's a PR or just his personal to-do list.
Be quiet, Bruce. I'm working. Stop it. Yeah, I'm trying to find just to make sure that there's like a working session on it. But
while you're doing that, I'll also mention that each of the charters that are in some stage of being approved all have different reasons why they're still in the queue. So it's not like they just haven't been looked at. So I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to just add the working session to that one that I pasted into the chat. I don't know if it's the be all end all on charter issues and PRs and whatever, but at least it's something so we know that it's something we want to work on. Okay. Cool. So anything else to talk about that particular issue?
No, it's related to the next one, so we can skip the next one, which is the prospective charter review. That's in the scope of the thing we just talked about.
Yeah, okay. Great. So moving on then is 1678, which is create policy guidelines to improve the security posture of folks with access to GitHub and NPM. I feel like we've talked about this, but I don't see any comments in the issue or anything or where we're currently at with it. Is this where we just decided that who should have access to, admin access to these places? And we thought maybe it was just staff, a person or two from staff and the CPC chairs. Toby was like, I don't want to be responsible, but too bad.
I mean, the way I interpret this is more around like, do you use a YubiKey? You use 1Password, those types of things. But
Oh, got it. Yeah.
I only say it because it says here to ensure that people who have access adopt good security practices, and that's how I interpret that. I know
Yeah.
there was some other work around like our GitHub teams and making sure they were cleaned up a little bit. To me, this is separate.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right, well, we'll save that for another time. Maybe when Toby's here and we can talk about it more.
Yeah, I think sorry, just jumping in there. I think we have some good guidelines around this already that have come out of the security collab space. Now those are targeted, I guess, toward like our projects, but I think the information there on operational security also would lend itself just as easily to the foundation, GitHub,
Yeah.
org, and teams and whatnot.
If you have a link to a doc from the security work, maybe you can drop it in there and just say, do we need a subset of this or something along those lines.
Okay.
Cool. Moving on. Next one is also charter approval. I assume we'll skip that one too, or yeah, okay. Update section to indicate moment is deprecated maintenance mode. So this was opened in September, some conversation here. Yeah, Toby mentions another issue or pull request that merged for the different project stage designations. Yeah, so Jordan's got a good comment here, the first comment. It's probably up to the maintainers to kind of decide, although I imagine at a certain point the foundation would step in if there wasn't movement there, appropriate movement. I'm not sure. Any comments on this or thoughts or things, or should we move along for now?
Does it still need the CPC agenda label on it?
It's a good question. Kind of
It's
don't
been
think
there
so.
for a little over a month. I don't
Yeah.
know how much discussion has actually happened. I guess there's only been a couple of meetings, right?
Yeah.
In that time.
I mean, Toby did create these additional project statuses. Well, not Toby, but the CPC created these additional project statuses. So two things come to mind. The first is, do we need to sort of audit our current list and see if any projects need to move to a different status based on the new ones? And then is this one of those? And is there a status that is appropriate, given the comment from Jordan? So.
Yeah, I mean, feature complete kind of seems like it would make sense here. That's one of the new stages.
Yeah. It could be something that we propose, right? And leave it open to the moment community to comment on. And if they agree, great. And if they disagree, then we can leave it as whatever status it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the basically what I'm thinking is that the additional project statuses that I think have been sort of merged, I don't think we've really operationalized them really, and I don't think I see it. I might be wrong, but I'm not sure if I see them reflected anywhere else, like in the README or anything.
So what should we do about that? Should we have an issue that just kind of says we should make sure that these new stages are reflected everywhere? And
I think that's right. Yeah.
And then maybe in that issue also tag that issue to say once that's done, let's review this and any other projects that we think would fall into these new categories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, Moment is very publicly,
yeah,
done and saying, we're not adding new features. We actually discourage continued use of the library, but they will continue to patch any new security issues, or at least that's what they've stated.
yeah.
So as long as all that still holds true, I think that we can market, whatever the most appropriate status is.
Yeah.
All right, I'll create that issue.
Great. Thank you, Ben. All right. Moving on. Create a bundler tooling collaboration space, which I think is a great idea. We got a lot of comments from Claudio. Ben, you commented, I think maybe just giving some direction.
I think we had the thumbs up to move forward from the CPC that I
Oh,
recall.
yeah.
We just need to get it in the we just need to get it on the calendar. So yeah, let me ping Claudio.
That's the last thing I recall was we were just waiting for like, hey, what time do you want it?
Yeah, let me ping Claudio.
Okay.
Because I think Claudio's done a good job of already recruiting folks to participate. So
Great. Should I leave the label on this or pull that off? It's kind of nice to highlight. So maybe
yeah, let's just keep it another round.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, great. Clarifying charter requirements. Okay, this is the one I linked to before.
We already talked, yeah.
Yeah, I added the working session, so we're good there. Move Dojo to at-large status. Dylan opened this in August. I mentioned in late October about the feature complete stage and tag Dylan, but we haven't heard anything yet. Does anybody want to ping Dylan and see what their thoughts might be?
I thought Dylan replied, that's cool on the feature complete. Maybe it was a Slack message.
Complete would be fine with me if that's what the group prefers and is probably better aligned with reality. Mostly, I just wanted to avoid archive/emeritus at this time, as there are still people out there relying on it. So I think this goes in the same bucket with Moment and just go like, what is the most appropriate and accurate status for this project? And I think it would be uncontroversial as long as we don't mess that up.
Yep. So that does confirm that he's cool with it. Sounds like it.
Ben, will you take note of that one too in the issue you were creating?
I'm currently typing, so perhaps someone could tell me what was just said.
Oh, just Dojo as a project. So we had talked earlier about, I don't know if we were creating a new issue for like the collection of projects or whatever. We talked about Moment, updating that project status to whatever is most appropriate. Same thing for Dojo.
Okay, got it.
So it's really just, we just need to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, adding to the list.
Yeah.
Great. Next up is this issue, the website footers. Kate, I think we were waiting till we got like code of conduct stuff sorted out and everything. And then we were gonna maybe bundle a bunch of things we were gonna talk to. Hey, hang on, let me make sure I'm remembering this correctly.
I think you are. I think we wanted to have the code of conduct stuff kind of all wrapped up before, because we wanted to avoid sending a million messages to everyone.
Yeah. Do we have the code of conduct stuff wrapped up? I feel like we do, but I can't remember now.
I don't know.
I don't either. Let me
I don't know that we do. I feel like it kind of stalled out.
yeah, I see it's still on the agenda. Okay. Oh, fun. Well, I have more time right now, so I can look at it a bit more. But
I'm I'm not super familiar with what's included in the current work on the code of conduct, but there was some recent work on a code of conduct issue, and I think there's some feedback that we can probably help, or we can provide, and this would be a good spot for that. I do wonder if we need like a separate group of people working on that have like, you know, their own meeting a couple times a week or whatever, and just update all those things. Um, Happy to help there as needed.
Michaela was sort of driving that work stream as well, a little bit, at least on tracking.
you say Mateo?
Michaela.
Oh, Michaela. Okay. I guess there are some issues. Should we just jump to the issues that are at the bottom that are COC related?
Mhm.
Um, so 1457 is which COC should we use? Obviously, the version that just was released is the one that we worked on, and so I think, I think that this is not controversial, and we know which one we want. And then 1417 is the one that Michaela created. And I'm trying to figure out, so Mo commented on this one. There's some checklist things in here about, updating onboarding and post-graduation checklist. I think wanted to provide some guidance around how projects can and should adopt what their options are for adopting the Foundation COC. And that's maybe it. What is there something else, Ben, that you were thinking of?
I would say that we encountered some documentation and process gaps. Um, and I think those are likely to pop up again.
Yeah.
And so like we I don't think, Chris, we did an actual like organized feedback loop. But I think we can relook at some of the things that we discussed previously and come to the table with some improvements.
Do we have an issue or anything open for that specifically?
I don't know. Probably, I mean, some of the stuff, let me see.
I know it's funny because we already have an issue that was supposed to collect the COC work, and now we're gonna have another issue that will include that issue, but that's all right. We're almost there.
Honestly, there's a lot of COC stuff there's like 15 open issues that mention, I guess some of them are the agenda, but yeah, I don't see one for what I'm thinking about. I'm not sure I want to create one.
Should we decide on the working session now? And I say that thinking that maybe we could do the COC stuff and just like corral it together, figure out what needs to be done.
I
think,
did create an issue. Sorry, I got excited.
yeah, I'm not sure exactly what Ben has in mind, and part of this is because there's like several different issues and aspects and things that we're talking about. I am just a little hesitant because I know this is being recorded. at least there's a non-zero amount of things that I think require maybe like some discretion.
Yeah.
And probably that's just an overabundance of caution. But like some feedback I think is kind of hyper specific and is not maybe generally at the the foundation level. I think we do need to improve some guidance that we give to projects and things to help them be more successful in dealing with things. And then I also think there's some maybe more specific feedback to give folks that, maybe doesn't need to be so public. But yes, all of these things are things that we should do.
Does it make sense to divide and conquer a little bit in terms of preparation? Folks who are involved in recent processes that have specific things they want to formalize or whatever can gather that, and then someone else can gather like the other things that have just been lingering, and then meet up and combine.
Robin, you're muted.
Robin.
Yeah, I like that idea. It's like you talked about breaking out a little subgroup. I'm happy to help drive that.
Okay. Is that something that we think could happen before the working session next week, or do we think we're going to need some more time?
We have a couple of topics on the working session next week. One, a contributor recognition program, and two, charter. Was the second one? Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Right. Okay. Sounds good. But let's make a plan to do the other two things. I'll take the other action item of trying to gather the stuff that's been lingering.
okay.
And then Robin, you'll spearhead the other
I'll
half.
get you all, yeah, and with maybe Michaela and Toby, perhaps.
Okay.
Chris, Ben, Joe.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So we have a plan on that. We have a plan on the working session. Let me just take note of the working session thing at the bottom here, because I always forget and then I go and look. Next week's working session will be on. So you said we want to do charter, actual charter reviews. And then what was it? Recognition? Contributor recognition?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So now we know what we're doing next week. And maybe I'm gonna just take this actually, rather than say actual charter reviews. Link to Ben's issue. Is there an issue for the contributor recognition thing, or is that just kind of open?
That was probably open. That was actually one thing from the board. We've been having requests from members for in-kind recognition programs from companies who are providing folks to projects and things like that. So we need to come up with a framework that recognizes that
Okay.
support.
Yeah, that's when I hear the word contributor, I'm thinking of open source contributor, but you mean like a company is contributing to a project. So company contribution. Call it something like that. Company contributions recognition program is close enough for now. Great. Okay. So getting back to the agenda, the next one on the list is AI assisted development allowed. I'm not sure where we left off on this one. There's lots of comments. Somebody's got a Fastify proposal with extensive commentary. And this person says they have some legal background, which they could provide to the CPC as well. So that's interesting.
We have a policy under the Linux Foundation umbrella that we often refer to. We're also creating a lot of content in our AI collaboration space as
Mhm.
well. So I would sort of look to that. I don't know I mean, if you look at sort of the any sort of legal, that would go under the member legal council. Again, we share a lot of the same companies as the Linux Foundation legal counsel as well. So
Yeah,
I think we're leaning toward not recreating the wheel on that front.
yeah.
But from developer guidance, I think what we've decided is that AI collab space would be really focused on developer education. So best practices.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's yes and
Yeah,
more.
yeah,
Yes, it's allowed, and for more specific guidance, follow the AI collab space.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Great. Moving on, the next one is organize regular batch policy updates for the foundation projects. I think that's maybe even related to the project footers, website footers, if I'm not mistaken, Kate. That is this.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, 1486. Great. So moving along, create third-party services documentation policy. Oops, that link did not work. Oh, there it is. This is a pull request that has been open for a long time from Rudd. And July, last comment is still a few comments unresolved, needs more review.
Yes, okay. Sorry. So there's this was captured in this issue, which we closed because we couldn't get consensus from folks on what to have in here. And so we resolved this here. I missed adding this to the PR, and resolving the PR is not to merge. So oops, I can do that.
Okay, no problem. So that solves that. Cool.
Get back to that PR.
Oh, I put it in the chat.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Cool. So everything else I think is stuff that we've kind of touched on. There's a charter approval for native scripts. There's the COC stuff, and then an update onboarding and post-graduation checklist, which is also COC. So I think we're done with our agenda, and we've kind of lost a few folks. So maybe we just kind of call it early, I'm guessing. Unless anybody has anything they want to dig into. Okay. Go make a sandwich.
You're take the DOG for WALK.
They just came in. You know,
Oh.
you wouldn't know that. They finally chilled out, so we'll see.
Okay.
But thank you, and
Yeah.
nice to see you all.
You too.
Next time.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.